Greetings, brothers and sisters. Alec and Hilaria Baldwin hit the Hamptons for Christmas with their kids. And, they're still refusing to understand this, right? That anything they say, no matter what it is, reminding people of your existence is a bad thing. Like you want people to forget about you altogether. They're trying to rebrand themselves. I guess this came from Hilaria's Instaghoul page, where she posted this. I don't know if that's Alec in a Christmas suit. Look out, kids, he might be armed. Look out, kids, Santa might be armed. Reality versus reality. That was the best we got from the photo batch. Happy Christmas Eve and Feliz Navan Buena. Our love to you and your families. Amor, amor. I think you want a less. You don't want a more. And then there's this of one of her kids. He's been running around all day saying, Feliz Navidad, baby. Well, that's because you keep on trying to make him into Spanish.
Feliz Navidad, baby.
Yeah, that's you trying to force him to culturally appropriate. She still has this photographer. She says something here.
You guys are going to see photos of us that we pulled over on the side of the road to ask for help from a police officer.
She's still trying to do this accent. She grew up in Boston with very Anglo parents in a suburb. Her native language is English. Everybody who went to school with her remembers her speaking American English, and she's still trying to fake an accent. But, when it's already out, it's like everybody knows.
Getting chased by this one guy in particular who's like just really, really not very nice. And
he's a not very nice person.
He
does things like accidentally shoot coworkers. No, wait, that's Alec.
Repeatedly, we've had problems with him where he'll come onto our horse farm, and the moment people realize, he runs away. He puts a hood on, trying to like we don't see him.
Exactly, he's got an invisible hoodie.
He drives back and forth and shoots photos through our tree line onto our home. He's taken pictures of my kids in their underwear before. He's a really, you know what? I'm not gonna say.
You already did.
Anyway, so we asked for help. I have my daughter in the back. She gets scared by him. All my kids do. They know his name. They don't like him. And I said to my daughter, I said, when we need help, we ask for help. So we saw a police officer by the side of the road. We pull over and we ask for help. I showed her a video of him that I have from before where he's literally driving and he has his hand in his camera. He's looking out the side window, not the forward. And he's laughing and taking photographs of me.
Not the forward. In America, we refer to that as the windshield. How you say cucumber?
As I'm walking by, and you can see that he's swerving off to the other side of the yellow line.
He's not a very safe driver. He's not very precautious. He's the kind of guy that might accidentally shoot somebody, And
I just look at him like, this is not okay in any way. So he gets out of the car. He starts.
Not okay. You give him that's a not okay look.
Screaming at the police and screaming at me that I am deserving of this. And I've brought this out here, just my being. So I am just a walking target. I'm not a target. My husband's not a target. We're no longer going to be targets. We are normal people. We have jobs. We have a family. We're living our life. We love to connect with people. This is a really nice, amazing, most people are good people.
How do you know? You know most people? Most people are good people. Most people, just guys like this. Anyways, you're supposed to disappear now. There's nothing that you can do to reclaim what you once had, right? Alec went all in on Trump, and then, he created all this hatred and things because of the way that he was talking about Trump. And now you guys are getting trumped, right? You've been faking an accent for years and pretending you're something you're not. So that happened. And then Alec shot somebody at work, right? And those two things, along with, and you're complete oblivious on Instaghoul. You guys are just so into seeing yourselves on social media. And so you know, it's turned against you. People have a bad attitude towards you. They have a negative opinion towards you. You're like kind of in Hillary Clinton land right now, or, you know, whatever, Donald Trump land. You're not going to convince people how great you are, right? And that's what this is about. I mean, Instaghoul is about convincing other people how great you are. Like, there's some honest Instaghoul out there. But the majority of people, I mean, that's why they have all those filters, right? It's literally filters to make yourself look better than you actually look and present yourself better than you actually are, right? That's what Instaghoul is all about. That's why I call it Instaghoul. You're pretending to be something you're not. You're trying to sell a version, a brand of yourself that's better than it actually is. And once it gets exposed, you can no longer do it, right? Because people see through it, and, you know, it's too late to reclaim some illusionary version of yourself.
But there are people who take advantage of the system, and this is somebody who's taking advantage of the system. So with this, you know, bringing into the always, I want to go back to a broad sense of like, what can we all kind of learn from this? Because I don't understand what the point is of having these experiences if I can't share them with you. And
yeah, we're not learning anything from this, right? And we're learning what not to do. not to do when things turn against you. It's really hard to listen to.
And comments on my photos, it received a troll message, which is something that they like to do. So I'll tell you, they see who you're interacting with, and this is not unique to me. This is like happens to a lot of people, but it's a thing that they do. So they will see who you're interacting with and who's interacting with you, and then they will go after the people who's interacting with you. So I
completed this video. I, you know, did the screen grab part, and I did the voiceover on gratitude, and I was closing up these tabs, and I noticed there was another Hilaria was giving her audience another talking to. And, you know, she's actually more annoying and more difficult for me to listen to than Alec. But I clicked on it anyway, and I'm glad I did. Because this is the epitome of the inability to self-perceive.
do you ever get accused of being fake?
You mean like, you know, pretending I was an ethnicity that I wasn't, and carrying on an accent sometimes where I would talk American accent, and then sometimes I would talk with a foreign accent, telling everyone I was from a country that I wasn't. No, I don't think that's ever happened to me. About you? What about you? Has that ever happened to you?
It's one of the things that women get thrown at them all the time.
So I'm in the editing portion of this video. And keep in mind that I found this clip of her before I made the voiceover you're going to hear after I do the piece on Valerie Bertinelli at the end of the video. And the stuff I said earlier about how people are always fake on Instaghoul and they're trying to create a fake version of themselves. I get into it in the beginning of this video, which you already heard, and also in the voiceover. And, you know, it's, to me, insightful of what's going on with the psyche and the, you know, effects of social media. And so all these things, you know, she's going to demonstrate in this clip that I found afterwards. Like, it's unbelievable. But she just said this thing here. Let me just play it again.
It's one of the things that women get thrown at them all the time.
See, now she is saying that all women get accused of being fake. And that's not true. But yeah, it's something maybe more so for women. But she's not talking about all women. Like, this is something that's very prevalent with victim consciousness. She's trying to get everyone on board because she's been called fake. She's been caught being fake. Her husband is fake. And their persona on social media is being destroyed. You know, and she's triggered. This isn't about every other woman being called fake. And when she gets into it, she goes full narcissism here, right? But this is 100% about her. And she's trying to group all women into it like it's some sort of social movement. She's upset because she got called out and exposed for being fake. And psychologically, narcissistically, she can't say, yeah, you're right. I've been faking an accent. I don't know. Like, she's just gone farther into crazy town. It's so evident, like right here.
That girl, oh my God, she's so fake. Or, oh, her body parts are fake. Or, oh, her face is fake. Or, her look is...
She's not very smart. This isn't very smart.
So fake. Or she acts fake. She talks fake. Any of the things, just fake.
She talks fake with a different accent than she actually has?
Fake, 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 fake.
Fake, 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 fake. Well, I'm going to turn this into a meme.
Fake, she talks fake, any of the things, just fake, 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 fake. And it's really tired because it's so old and we should be able to see through it at this point.
Wait, you're saying that you're not fake and everybody, your whole Instaghoul is fake, right? Like your whole, everything that she presents here is fake. I don't want to click out of the video because then I lose my place. But, you know, her whole Instaghoul, she hires a private photographer. I mean, everything about her is fake, right? It's so tired. These people accusing other people of being fake, and nobody in the world is fake. No woman in the world has fake boobs, or no woman that has fake, you know, plastic surgery. Like all of her friends, that's what makes them up. Makeup is fake, right? Everything, you know, everything about social media is fake.
It's just a way to silence women. It's a way to belittle them. We often, women, we do it to each other.
Or you could just stop being fake. You could be authentic. You could be genuine, trying to present yourself as something you're not. Like she literally, let me roll the compilation here, my Alec and Hilaria compilation.
Consider the source.
Oh, she's a white girl? Yes, I am a white girl. I am a white girl.
So, for example, my wife's on the phone with her hairdresser or her friend. She's like, really? Okay, I can't wait to see you. That's going to be great. Fantastic. What time? 12 o'clock? My wife is from Spain. Mm-hmm. And she said, blah, blah, blah.
We have very few ingredients. We have tomatoes. We have, how do you say it? Cucumbers. We have red pepper. We have, of course...
It's not easy, and I think part of it is that I'm in shape before I have a baby, and then I stay active when I'm pregnant, and I'm not trying to stay thin, I'm just trying to keep my circulation going and stretching and keep my muscle tone up, and then we're having a baby. It was a surprise, a wonderful surprise.
And one time at band camp,
it was a surprise, a wonderful surprise.
And one time at band camp,
it was a surprise, a wonderful surprise.
Well, there was a scream I heard, which is the scream that's normally reserved if there's a spider in the house on Long Island. I'm not exaggerating.
So the first part of the book is philosophy on how to live very namaste. I have 3 little babies. I live kind of a crazy life between work and them and everything else. So it's just, you know, how to stay calm and centered and deal with things that are coming at you. Then we could talk about food.
Consider the source.
Oh, she's a white girl? Yes, I am a white girl. I am a white girl.
You can see that she is sometimes talking with an American English accent, which, you know, she has grown up in the suburbs of Boston, the affluent, you know, some affluent neighborhood in Boston. Her parents were like both doctors, or one of them was successful in business, the other was a doctor. She grew up with money. Her parents liked to take vacations in Spain, and they retired to Spain. So at some point she decided just to pretend she was Spanish. She changed her name from Hillary Hayward Thomas to Hilaria Baldwin, right? And she started to talk with a fake Spanish accent, but not all the time. And sometimes it would be a mix of the two. Sometimes it would be one, sometimes it would be the other. But it's fake, right? She has her normal accent. And she literally told people that she was Spanish. She doesn't have like a drop of Spanish blood in her. She's not Spanish in any way, right?
Fake, 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 fake.
And so it's not like she grew up in an ethnically Spanish family or grew up in Spain. She grew up in America and should have no accent. So everything we know about her in her Instaghoul page is fake, right? And she's like saying that it's not and that nobody's fake. And the only reason people say you're fake is to silence you. Nobody wants to silence you. You know, I want you and Alec to keep on talking. It's better for me. Like, you know, I like making videos about this. People like watching them, right? Please talk more. Nobody's trying to silence you. We just are calling it the way it really is.
Stop. Let's stop tearing each other down. We're not
Exactly. Let's just accidentally shoot people.
fake. Maybe we are too good to be true because maybe life can be that good.
Wow. She's too good to be true. This is not very smart. Maybe we are too good to be true. Maybe sometimes I am Spanish. Maybe everything on my Instaghoul page is real and my life is so great and my husband, you know, shoots people at work. Maybe it is too good to be true.
Maybe we can lift each other up and we can support each other in being our absolute best.
Maybe we could. Maybe that world exists.
Rather than tearing each other down.
Exactly. Why tear each other down? Let's just all go along with everybody's fake stuff and pretend that their fake illusionary world is real. Nobody should tell the truth. Nobody should call us out on our BS. Everyone should just accept all the BS that everyone else puts out there on social media and go along with it. If some girl, I don't know who, decides that she wants to be Spanish and puts on a fake Spanish accent, we should all humor her. Like we should treat everyone like they have Alzheimer's and we're humoring them, even though we can see through it, because otherwise you're tearing people down. Stop tearing people down with your truth.
We feel insecure about it. So when next time somebody says that you're fake, just know that you're just winning and you're just being so good.
She's winning. You guys are winning. You and Alec are winning. She's really triggered because I don't think she's posted these types of things before. And 3 of them, she's obviously triggered. Her life is falling apart. You don't look like you're winning. You look like you're angry and you're falling apart and your whole world's collapsing around you. That doesn't look like the face of a winner. Big, giant, colossal cursor knows, but that's, the big, giant, colossal cursor doesn't want to be accused of being fake.
Just as you are, living your best life.
She's living her best life, right? And again, she's talking like everybody who's watching this Instaghoul video has just been accused of being called fake, and she's pumping them up, right, when this is about her. Like she's talking to her Instaghoul people, but this is her talking to herself, right? None of this has anything to do with you. She's the one who's been accused of being fake and is fake. So I showed this before, like, all right, is she taking pictures of them sleeping? She has a professional photographer, right? And why are you taking pictures of your husband? And here's another one. So I guess she's really triggered. There's, like all these are, wow, she's doing a lot of these voiceovers. I'm going to have to return to this at some point. They have like a professional photographer. This is some artsy-fartsy picture they do up, right? She's living her best life. Like who's taking this picture? Like she and him are posing. They're posers, and they're taking this picture. These were happier days before he was shooting people in the face. I'm going to get into this a little bit in the voiceover, but there's one particular picture here that, exposes the fakeness of her existence. It's down here further. All right, there's one like this, right? Again, posing, like they're having somebody take a professional picture. It's in black and white, sort of a Woody Allen thing. This one as well, right? Like how many pictures do they go through? How many poses do they go through sitting on the fence here, right? But this is the one, right? So she complained about this creepy photographer that was stalking her and her family. And yet she and Alec are pretending to be asleep while they have a professional photographer photograph them so she can show everybody she's living her best life. She's got her celebrity husband who's yet to shoot anybody. This is the pre-shooting. This is after she got exposed as putting on a fake accent, but things were still okay, they were still going all right for them. That was a blow, but it wasn't going to get as bad as it is now. But this is all fake and staged, right? They got 51,000 likes. I guess she's turned off all the comments to these things. But it's fake, right? This is not something that happened organically. They're not really sleeping. Big, giant, colossal cursor knows. This is posing. And then, of course, she sells things on Instaghoul, which is a part of it, like shilling for stuff. And so this is all fake. He's an actor. He makes his living by faking and pretending to be things he isn't, and also shooting people in the face. So I've covered celebrities and other people's Instaghoul accounts now for about a year, 2 years. How long has it been? 2 years? And they're just so fake. That's why I call it Instaghoul. And I get into this a lot more in the voiceover, which I already, like I said, did prior to finding her, telling us that the reason people call her fake is they're jealous of her living her best life. The reason they call her fake is because she's fake. Instaghoul's fake. And you see these social media accounts, everyone's trying to present their life better than it actually is. And then, someone like this gets exposed. I don't know if you guys can hear the rooster or not. There's a rooster outside my window. Anyways, it's It's hard times in Hilaria land, but apparently not as hard as they are for Valerie Bertinelli. Shares tearful video about her body image struggles. So this is sad, Valerie Bertinelli. Again, this is the other thing. We saw this with Paula Poroskova. So people try to present a fake image of themselves. They try to make themselves better than they actually are, make their lives better than they actually are on Instaghoul, right? And then every once in a while, they have this, oh my God, I suck so bad. I'm going to tell everyone on Instaghoul about it. I have psychological issues, and I think I'm going to share it with a bunch of strangers on the internet, most of whom are not really likable or nice people.
I'm standing out in the rain.
Breathe in that rain, Valerie. Give everyone a smile. You got a smile there.
Because I'm doing my best to distract my mind from spiraling to a place of self-loathing because I...
What? Why are you saying this on Instagram? She's out there in the rain because she wants to distract herself from her mind spiraling into a sense of self-loathing. So now she's going to talk about that self-loathing, spiraling into self-loathing on Instaghoul, which is, another bad idea.
I saw a picture of myself today that made me want to do that.
She saw a picture, and the picture it just made her self-loathe. And, these are people fishing for, oh no, you're so beautiful comments or whatever it is, right? Needing some sort of reinforcement from the internets.
I am not where I want to be right now.
I thought you wanted to be out in the rain.
Body-wise, I don't know if I ever will be.
Body-wise, her body. She's unhappy with her body. Her body-wise, she's not where she wants to be. She wants to be in the rain, just in a different body.
But when I see it right in front of me, it really does send me down that path.
Sends her down that path of self-loathing on Instaghoul. Self-loathing might have to do with you sharing everything on Instaghoul.
And I am doing my best to be positive and more full of joy. And
you mean lying to yourself because you're unhappy, right? You mean positive by lying to yourself. Like, just accept it. Like, just, I think she's around my age, maybe a couple years older. Just accept it. Like, at this age, things are just going south physically, right? I mean, you get into your 40s and you're into your 50s and your body's just, going down a hill towards death, right? Like, your body's never going to function as well as it did when you were young. I mean, you can become more of a spiritual person. Like, you're shifting away from your material life. You're preparing future generations. You're getting ready to retire your life's work or whatever it is that you've contributed, and you just don't function as well. You don't think as well. Your mind doesn't work as well, and you physically don't look as good as you did. You physically look old, right? In terms of what people think about old, you're just going to age. Your body's going to age. Your face is going to age. There's nothing wrong with it. It's that you're clinging to youth, and you accept the stage that you're going into, right? I'm less concerned about what you appear, your physical, whatever it is, and, it's being self-involved like this, and you're connecting on a spiritual level more and more the older you get, and you're beginning to transition away from your physical life back to the spirit world where, you're preparing for whatever comes next, right? And what's coming next for you, your big next thing is death, right? You physically don't have the same strength anymore, and your body is, wearing down, just like, your car is. It's like you have a 20-year-old car, right? It just doesn't, at some point it needs to just, it's no longer functioning. And that's what's going to happen to you as you go into this stage of your life. But she's still talking like she's, somebody in her teens or 20s, and, how she appears is like everything to her. Her appearance, what she looks like.
hopefully my body will follow along. Not there yet.
Doesn't she have like a cooking show or something? You're not there. Your body's just not going to follow along. It's either something that's it's genetic, or it's choices, food choices, and diet choices, lack of exercise, whatever it might be, right? But Usually people gain weight as they get older and then, lose it when they get really old. What the heck was that? It just ended. There's some kind of... Oh, here she goes again. Day 1, permission. Day 2, compassion. So first you got to give yourself permission to have compassion.
That's just a little fix I can do today. Just not focus on all the shortcomings and the flaws and the imperfections, and just give myself permission. We can all give ourselves permission to feel joy, be
Okay. This is an excellent two-parter. Everyone can give themselves permission to feel joy. Come on.
intentional about it. And remember to be grateful.
Exactly. Remember to be grateful. This is what I always say. You're on board, Valerie. Be grateful. But she doesn't look grateful. Looks like she's still in self-loathing mode.
And I am grateful. Even through all the mess. Because there's still good in all the mess.
You know, I appreciate you trying to be grateful. I mean, it's something I say at the end of all my videos for various reasons. You don't look grateful, right? Just it's taken a turn where you're, you know, I mean, I guess you had to say something on Instaghoul after the first thing, but you didn't have to post either one of them, right? She says thankful down here, but doesn't look thankful. Like, looks like something else is going on internally. So I want to talk about gratitude, because I say and be grateful right at the end of the videos, but I don't mean just like saying you're grateful when you're like seething inside, right? So I want to come back to that point. But first, I want to talk about this Instaghoul phenomenon, you know, Valerie, Bertinelli, and Hilaria. Hilaria's, you know, Instaghoul post, which is a reflection of a whole problem that's on social media, but it's not a new problem. It's not something new, because this is how it works, right? That most people are going in the wrong direction in life. They haven't found their soul's path. They're not doing what they're supposed to do, why they came down here. And I was like that for a number of years till I turned 29, and I was, you know, graciously found by the heartfulness system, and it helped me connect to my soul's path. I mean, it's not just doing the heartfulness system. You have to, you know, activate it yourself, right? You have to use the system to do this, you know, find your true purpose, your true goal, and align yourself with your soul's path. Find your true purpose for being here, which is spiritual. You know, your soul has a purpose. Your soul has a reason for you being here. Your ego can find lots of things to focus on here on planet Earth, but your soul has a purpose for you. There's a reason why you're here. Most people never find that. They never even flirt with it. They never, you know, I mean, maybe it comes to their mind and they dismiss it, right? You know, they have some wake-up moments, but most people don't. They just get absorbed and get lost on planet Earth. You know, there's Stockholm Syndrome, where you can be kidnapped or something, and then within a week you become a criminal and a member of the gang that kidnaps you, right? It just takes a week to be absorbed in some new social dynamic and forget all about your life. Years ago when I was in graduate school, I worked at this like treatment program for really rich people, like in Santa Fe, New Mexico. It was a place where wealthy people, and some of them were semi-famous, like, you know, whatever, right? They weren't people that household names, but they were semi-famous. There's people who were really rich, or they had, you know, came from a rich family, and they would go to this place to usually dry out if they were, you know, it wasn't necessarily about substance abuse, but it was something where they are in some sort of crisis. And part of my job was I would pick these people up from the airport, you know, which is in Albuquerque, which was an hour away. And sometimes they didn't want to, they changed their mind and they wouldn't show, they wouldn't get on the plane. One girl got really drunk and I'm like holding up a sign or something, you know, and she walked right by me. And I thought it was her, right? She was with some guy, but she was staggeringly drunk and she didn't want to, you know, come into this treatment center drunk. She had consumed alcohol on the plane. And so, for about an hour and a half, like I was about to leave, and then she called the place, and then, it was just, and they didn't allow her into the treatment facility because it would trigger other people, so she had to go into a hospital for a night. It was a mess, right? But there was this one woman I was supposed to pick up, and she was a very prominent judge in a big city, and she was, part of like the social class and, an important person. And she one day decided to smoke crack. And she became addicted to crack, and within a month she had blown through all of her savings and money. She had a husband and family, and she was prostituting herself for crack, right? And it's just that easy for somebody to be on a trajectory and be in, a certain life path, and then something happens and they throw it all away, or they go do something else. Sometimes it's a good thing, oftentimes it's a bad thing. But I'm saying it's very easy to get lost on planet Earth. You have a reason for being here, your soul's reason for being here, but it's very easy to get absorbed in something and lose track and sight of what you're doing here. And most people, that happens to at some point in their life. They lose their purpose. And then, they start disliking themselves because they're incongruent between their soul and their egos, and then they know what their thoughts are, and they don't like themselves, maybe hate themselves, whatever it is. It's hard for them to look in the mirror. And so a coping mechanism that happens, and now it's very prevalent on social media, is try to convince everybody else that you're not that person that you yourself loathe, like Valerie Bertinelli, right? She's, self-loathing. It's to convince everybody that you're not that person. And so you use Instaghoul filters and, take multiple photos. I mean, like, Hilaria as a professional photographer, right? All these things that people do to stage things, the best of what you are. She's got, they got 6 kids, a bunch of all little kids, right? Alec is barely ever there. And then, how many other staff members are there to help take care of those kids? You know what it's like to have 6 little kids, little screaming brats running around? You think they're all like little angels that Hilaria is, presenting to them? I mean, screaming, fighting, how kids react when they don't get their way, all this stuff, right? Especially toddlers. I mean, she's got like 3 or 4 toddlers there, young kids, 5 or younger. And so, it's a mess. And and they have multiple staff. It's just all fake what she presents on Instaghoul. Just like her fake accent, everything fake, right? Just like, we saw Alec dismiss her, on the side of the road, the way he treats her or whatever it is. And then she, when he got bit by one of his kids, she said, serves you right, And once in a while they have a real moment, of what their lives are really like. But for the most part, social media, Facebook, and even more on Instaghoul, people are trying to present themselves, create a brand so that you think that they're better than they know they really are, right? And that you'll reflect that back on them, and you'll say, oh, wow, how amazing you are, and they'll hear it in the comments, and it, sort of convinces them for a second that, their illusionary world is real, and they're not the, piece of crap that they know they are, because they're not doing what they're supposed to do, right? They're not, the good person that they pretend to be. They know what their thoughts are. They know what their selfish attitudes are. They know what, negative and angry and hateful and jealous thoughts they have, all these things, right? Like everybody knows. And you're trying to convince other people that you're better than what you know you are, right? And it doesn't work. Like it's doomed to fail because, you have to look in the mirror. You have to, you have those moments of reality when you see yourself in a negative way. Like narcissism, people who are narcissistic, that's what this is all about. Like they know that they're doing bad things and they're a bad person, so they try to sell everyone else that they're great, right? And, people believe it because, people kind of believe what you tell them to some extent, but eventually people figure it out and it gets reflected back to you. And then you have to hear, what a horrible person you are, something that you don't want to, confront within yourself. And then in Valerie Bertinelli's case, it's about her weight. Like she's obsessed with her weight, right? Like what she looks like, or her physical appearance, but it's something deeper that she's not confronting, like doing something that's, aligns with your soul and your soul's path and connecting to God and receiving love. Because people think about love as other people telling them, how great they are, like, how wonderful they are. And it's, if it's true, sure, if the other person believes that about you. But when you don't think it yourself, and this happens all the time, like you see this a lot, something that I came across when I developed the capacity to be like, just have unconditional love for somebody, which I got through, the disastrous first marriage that I was in, right? I developed this ability to just focus on the positive, be grateful, and look at the best in somebody, even though, you think about all the ways I trash people, I can see all their negativity, which was natural to me. But I, at some point, learned this ability to focus on the positive and be grateful and just say the positive things to somebody, right? And just get over the negative things, which you'd think would be something that most people would want. And when I, went through the divorce and became single, I thought, oh, wow, this is something that will be good in the future. And then I was, kind of stunned to learn that most women who claim they want to be loved and loved unconditionally don't really want that, because it's incongruent, right? That's why they're in bad relationships and they choose bad people. I mean, it's also with men, but it's more prevalent in women because they're more conscious of it, of the need to be loved, right? But most women, when they are given, positive feedback, they look at you like you're, like crazy, because they know how they feel about themselves, right? They hate themselves or loathe themselves, whatever it is, the things that they know about themselves, and they don't respect you for pointing out the good things, right? Or looking for the good things, even though they say they want it, deep down, they have this negative view of themselves. Like men have it too, they're just not as conscious of it, right? They're not as conscious of what they want or whatever it is, right? Most people say they want unconditional love, but they don't, because, they at some level crave to be told the truth, and they want people to match, what they believe inside about themselves. They want other people to reflect that back, even though they don't want it, they do want it. And so this is why people choose other people to be in relationship with that suck. They have, turbulent relationships because they don't want somebody who loves them and is positive about them. They don't want a positive person that thinks positive things about them. They want somebody, they're craving somebody to tell them the truth, right? The truth, the dark truth that they, that they're trying to hide on Instaghoul. And that's why, they get this feedback, like people say these hateful things or derogatory things to them on social media, but they, say they don't like it. But then why is it there in your life, right? Why are you drawing that to you, right? Why is Hilaria drawing this photographer, Alec and Hilaria drawing this photographer, right? Why are they still trying to be public figures when they could just disappear? That photographer would leave as soon as everybody lost interest in them, right? Like if they just went away, they have money and go on vacation. I don't think their kids go to school. I don't know what their situation is. But they can go away and they can just disappear and everyone forget about them. It's their constant reminding everybody, the interview, the social media stuff, trying to explain away and convince other people of how great they are and how great they have it. That's Hilaria's whole thing, right? And when you do that, people are going to dislike you, right? They can't wait for you to be taken down. And so that's what happened to her. She posted this thing about how great her family and life were, and, this imaginary world where they are, living some idealistic life, and it got tore down and people love it, right? And so what you do is just disappear. You just, stop being on Instagram. Like either that or just, you ignore like all the other people. But I mean, right now they can't, what they're trying to sell, nobody's buying. So stop selling it. So in terms of gratitude, being grateful for this, whatever's going on in your life and realizing there's a reason for it. This is finding your soul's path allows you to do that. Like with Valerie Bertinelli, right? You have, let's say at one time she was the most beautiful woman in the world. Like some, and I don't even know how you would evaluate that, but, at some point you're really beautiful. Well, it's just going to be downhill from there, right? You're getting older. You can't sustain that. There's something that's in your 20s and you can work at it in your 30s or whatever it is, right? For men, you can get a six-pack or whatever, but you're going to, eat in a certain way. You're going to plank and do sit-ups and work on your abs for, these 40-year-old. I used to get all these ads for 50-year-old guys with, ripped abs. When I was in my 20s, like I had that naturally or whatever it was, right? And now I got a pot belly and I'm much happier now. Like not because of the pot belly, but I'm just happier in general. And so like, your appearance doesn't mean that much. You can look as great as as perfect as you could be, the best version of you in terms of what kind of shape you're in. But I mean, it doesn't make you happy. It's just a shell. Like you have a physical body, right? Like it doesn't, change how you feel about yourself inside. Back in my 20s, I was in shape and even into my 30s, but it wasn't until I found the Heartfulness system, which connected me to my soul and my soul's path and to God, that I really was, had any chance of true happiness. Having a goal and having a purpose is, something that is irreplaceable. There's nothing like it. Having, finding your true purpose and path in this world, there's nothing like it. And so when I talk about gratitude, I'm not just saying, oh, I'm grateful when, that doesn't work. There's times, what I mean by be grateful in this sense, and, with, these two people as an example, is that you accept this unpleasant thing that you don't want as being good for you, and you really do it. You have faith in it. You believe that this thing is doing you something. It's actually there for a reason, that God has a plan. And this thing that you are going through, or the way that, these problems that you have, there's a complete reason for it. And it's something that's probably come up over and over again. Like Valerie Bertinelli's had this thing with her weight. Hilaria's had these things over and over again in her life, these things, Alec, whatever, these people. It keeps on coming back up, right? There's a reason for it then. It's not accidental. It's different people that you're complaining about, different faces, but the people's, they represent something in your life that you're drawing to yourself. And so you should be grateful for it. God is giving you something that you need to evolve spiritually. And you may not see it after you die. Like you may not fully grasp it. Like sometimes something happens where you're like, oh my God, I'm grateful for this. Like I was saying when I was dealing with the Heartfulness organization and I was offering my services and I was rejected. And, I went to this gathering and all these guys would give me the cold shoulder. And I was like, wow, why is this a bad thing? Why am I looking at this as a bad thing? Like I don't really like these MNFers anyway, right? Like we don't see eye to eye. We're not like, on the same page. Like why would I think this is a bad thing? Why am I complaining about this inside? Why am I bummed out about this? This is actually a good thing. I've seen it over and over again. Things that people want things all the time that they don't really want. And when they get them, they're like, oh, I didn't want that. Now I have to deal with it, right? People say they want a horse or something, or, a kid like a pony, or, and then they realize what they have to do to take care of it and all that, and they're like, I mean, oftentimes people think they want something, and then when they get it, they're like, oh, I want a second house. I want a third house, right? I want, a nice car, a Lamborghini or something. And then you bring it to the, Walmart and somebody dings your door and you're like, oh man, it costs you $5,000 to, get the thing looking like it's supposed to, right? And you're like, oh, you can't, you're all the time, I wonder if anybody's scratching my car, or, you're just constantly worried about it, right? It becomes an obsession and it's draining you of your energy. And then you realize, I just wish I had some kind of a nice practical car that got me from point A to point B, instead of, having something that, like what? How does that validate you? By having some kind of fancy car or something, or you get multiple houses, Some guy's like, oh, I wish I had a second wife. And they're like, you really want to be nagged by two women? Three women, like you can't make your one wife happy, like, but you want another one, right? So, people have these bizarre desires for things, and then when they get them, they're not happy. And so what I mean by gratitude, that one, you recognize that you're getting whatever is good for you, and you can actually just look at it differently and see that it's good for you. And you can look at things that, if you're going to have to eat some crap in this world, you're going to have to go through some problems, because that's what life's about. We're problem solvers. You're going to have difficulties. Then look at your difficulties as, wow, look at how worse it could be. Look at that person over there that's dying of cancer. Look at that person over there just lost their spouse or whatever. Like, you think about how many things that are worse than what you're going through, right? Like Valerie Bertinelli's rich and famous person. You know, she has, I assume, people who love her, whatever it is, right? And she's concerned about her appearance that, you know, she's, you know, approaching her 60s. It's a lifelong obsession. Like, she could have real problems, right? You could have real difficulties. So, you know, that's one way of looking at it. But on a deeper level, it's this idea that whatever you're getting is coming to you for a reason to advance you spiritually. And so once you're grateful for it, it disappears because, you know, it's there to help you clean something out and move you forward on your spiritual journey. And so being grateful is something that's a condition. It's sincere inside of you. You feel, oh, wow, you know, thanks for this, right? Even though, you know, you first looked at it as being unpleasant, you're actually grateful for God, you know, you're grateful to God and your soul for putting this in your path. And then you know, look for ways that it benefits you. Instead of looking for ways to complain about it, look for ways that it's actually a good thing and how it's helping you and how, you know, it's freeing you up and moving you closer to God, and it's, you know, a wonderful gift. And so instead of looking at something as a curse, you look at it as a blessing. And you just have to, you know, think about it in a different way. You have to just approach it in a different way. And so that's what I mean by saying, you know, be grateful, not just to say I'm grateful, but to find gratitude, to feel that gratitude in your heart. And then when you do, everything just opens up in a different way. And it all comes from finding your spiritual path and finding your purpose, which ultimately, you know, then all these things that happen and you see, all right, this is helping me achieve my goal and come back and merge back into the source. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paramano, definitely pointing from the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.